Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always so much fun. Continue sending emails, by the way. They make my day. Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. And we are syndicated. You can find us on television, on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com. We are in the radio station right now, WZLA, and that's a classic country 92.9 FM. It's right here in Abbeville, good old Abbeville, South Carolina. So we're proud to be part of their network as well. Continue doing all of the Facebook and all the social media sites as well. So you can get away from us if you tried. Is that right, Jody?
That sounds right.
Right now, wrestler commentator. Okay, so I got to tell you a story before you get started. Okay, so my husband and I were youth directors at the church we went to, and so there's a guy. His name, you probably heard of him, Lash LaRue. Okay, Lash was in my youth group, and but I will tell you, he was nothing. I would have never thought wrestler with him. I mean, he was the boy that would come in with a suit and tie on and all of, this guy dressed to a T, and he said, "I am Lash LaRue." And I was like, "Huh? You're Lash LaRue?" So that's not his God-given name. So anyway, he went on to do good things. Now he's an illustrator. He's a writer. He does all kinds of great things.
And it's so interesting. You meet so many different types of people, different characters, and so many people with so many different talents. And I think a lot of people like to put professional wrestling and wrestlers into a little bit of a box, and there's probably some justification for some of that. But just like anywhere else, you're meeting all kinds of people from all different walks of life who have such amazing stories, such amazing talents. And just some of the things that you walk away from not realizing that you've learned about somebody is just it's just an amazing opportunity to truly get to know individuals on a much personal level. I have thoroughly enjoyed being in the world of professional wrestling.
How long have you been in professional wrestling?
Yeah, well, it's a trick question. So it depends on what you mean by been in professional wrestling, because I've been watching it since I was 5 years old. I started watching professional wrestling with my grandmother, and she got me into it. And when you think about, back in when I was 5, back in what I call the heydays of professional wrestling, and the 80s, the 70s, 80s, that kind of territory kind of environment, you would always see the little old ladies at ringside who look like the sweet grandmotherly types, and they're swinging the umbrellas, and they're trying to hit the bad guys, and they're cheering for the good guys. That was my grandmother. She loved all of the good guys. So therefore, when she got me watching it and we could connect and watch it, I would purposely pull for the bad guys just to be a little contrarian with her, just to get under her skin a little bit. So I've been watching since I can remember. I can't remember not watching professional wrestling. Now, being involved in the business has not really been that long. It's been a little over a year, and it's funny, Donna. I always had this passion, this joy of wrestling. It's always been this thing, but I've always thought that it was kind of like useless knowledge. And I've got a lot of it. I've got a lot of knowledge about professional wrestling, but I always thought it was useless knowledge. And God just kind of said, "Yeah, no, nothing I put in front of you is useless, buddy. You're going to use this, and you're going to use it this way." And it's been incredible.
Oh, I'm loving. My son actually was the force with us, and so for Christmas, birthdays, whatever, we would say, "What do you want for Christmas?" It's always a wrestler figurine, and all of those, So, and we got them all for him, and he loved it, and he was just so into it. And he learned a lot about character.
There's a lot that goes into wrestling that so many people may not realize in terms of theatrics, in terms of creativity, in terms of just acting and using voice and being able to speak in front of a crowd. It really requires someone to be able to overcome that fear of being in front of people. And which, of course, as we know, public speaking is the greatest fear, even more so than death for most people. And so it really takes someone who is well-rounded, talented, able to really act in a way that makes things very believable. Now, we all know at this point in time, now when growing up, we didn't know, but we kind of knew that wrestling was predetermined, right? And they knew who was going to win. They kind of knew what was going to happen. That's just the way it was. But now, it's such an interesting psychological thing with wrestling fans and people that love wrestling, is that we know this, but we suspend that reality. We suspend that reality to be entertained. And in order for these wrestlers and commentators and ring announcers or managers or referees or whoever's involved in the production of it, in order for them to bring this entertainment, they have to be able to maintain that suspension of reality. And if it's broken, if kayfabe is broken, that's how they use the term, then it just completely destroys the entertainment value for the fan.
Mm-hmm. I totally get it. It's kind of like watching soap operas. Or, my big thing, I'm a Gunsmoke connoisseur. Yeah. Phil and I we watch Gunsmoke every single night, and you can find it on Roku and all the. Mm-hmm. We're looking at some of the earlier shows, some of the later shows. I mean, you have life lessons you can learn from watching those episodes, and we know it's not real. We knew Dallas wasn't real. Who shot JR? I mean, all that, but boy, did we get wrapped in it. I remember people were wearing shirts like "I shot JR."
Yes, yes. Yeah, I had a neighbor who had the bumper sticker. I shot JR, and the bullet holes in the bumper sticker. But it is, and wrestling is no different in that sense of entertainment. And I think the biggest difference is, and what I would probably more compare it to would probably be like a Broadway play, as opposed to a television show, because of course it's on TV, you can see it, but of course it's on TV in front of 20,000 people in an arena, or, in some independent shows, it's not on TV and you're in front of 150 people in front of, at an American Legion or something. But whether you're in front of 150 or you're in front of 20,000, you have to bring that full performance and entertainment. It's a dance in the ring. It's the art of telling stories without saying a word. And, if you flub, if you mess up, or what some people call botch, if you botch a move, or if you botch a spot in professional wrestling, you have essentially kind of brought that reality back to the fans' forefront of their mind, and it kind of ruins the entertainment value. So whereas on television, you can edit and you can redo, you can do retakes, and you have bloopers and those kind of things. When you're performing live, you got to be on your game, and you got to be on your game all the time.
But something, forever, there's always been this thing, the good against the evil. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I liked about the wrestling. I always wanted the good guy. No, Hulk Hogan went through several different. I mean, he was good, he was bad, he was good, he was bad, all those things. Yep. But it was like, it was almost, I want the good guy to win, so I'm going to root for that good guy, Yeah.
And that was really the way that wrestling kind of, the way that it evolved from those territory days, from the 80s, and when Vince McMahon took the WWF, now WWE, kind of global, and it essentially took all of those territories away. It really created an environment where, yes, everyone's pulling for the good guy, and no longer could someone show up in one territory as what we call a face or a good guy, and then show up in another territory as a heel or a bad guy, because they were now nationally known. So they were good guys and they were bad guys, and that really brought into what we call the art of the swerve. The art of the swerve is, of course, when you have someone who you think is on your side, you think they're the good guy, they're your tag team partner, whoever, and then all of a sudden they turn on you and they turn heel, they turn into the bad guy. And, before the internet, before so many people were kind of tuned into things going on, behind the scenes and having sources and all these kind of things, the swerve was the greatest thing that could happen in pro wrestling. It's like, oh my goodness, can you believe, this, Pistol Pez Watley, he turned on Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. What happened? They were supposed to be best friends. And it became the talk of really the show. And as it evolved and as social media evolved, it grew to be harder and harder and harder because so many people were kind of tuned into the backstage and kind of had their sources and really started predicting things. And so it made it harder. But Hulk Hogan, you mentioned Hulk Hogan. I was never a big Hulk Hogan guy. I wasn't a Hulkamaniac, but I think he redefined wrestling twice. And there's not a lot of athletes you can say that like truly redefined their sport, let alone twice. I think he did it in the 80s with the whole rock and wrestling, the WrestleMania, the good guy, they say your prayers, eat your vitamins. But then when he turned heel, he completely redefined professional wrestling again. And like him or not, he is absolutely one of the four on the Mount Rushmore in professional wrestling because of the way he redefined the industry.
Oh, I think so too. And you got to say this: when President Trump was elected, all of the folks were coming out on stage, singers, whatever. The loudest roar was when Hulk Hogan walked out. I mean, that was the loudest.
Yep, absolutely. And he transcended entertainment for wrestling. He brought wrestling into the mainstream, and it was a time when MTV was just taking off. And that partnership between MTV and WWF at the time to make that rock and wrestling, to bring Cyndi Lauper in for the big WrestleMania. WrestleMania was never intended to be this yearly Super Bowl of wrestling. Vince McMahon just had an idea to make money and to have a spectacle. And it turned into, I think we're going on to WrestleMania 43 next year or 42. Wow. So, yeah, it's just, again, say what you want about the guy. Vince McMahon was a genius when it came to really promoting wrestling and bringing it into a global.
And I think we found their strengths. Like Hulk Hogan coming out, I keep mentioning him like he's the only wrestler. There was a lot of good ones, but he would walk out and just start ripping the shirt off and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was his gimmick. That was his thing. And that's the thing that professional wrestlers seek. They look for that thing that the crowd connects with, that the fans will connect with. Hulk Hogan's was, ripping the shirt, the pose downs, and the say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be a Hulkamaniac. And then he became the heel, and he was dressed in all black. He colored his beard black, and he became Hollywood Hogan. And you saw fans with the black beards colored in and NWO T-shirts. So he found that multiple times in his career. But yeah, so many great wrestlers, and what makes a wrestler great, I mean, they obviously have to be a good wrestler in the ring. They have to be skilled speaking and talking and kind of doing what we call a promo, but they have to have something that truly connects with the fans that want to pour in, pay money, buy merchandise, and see them every week on TV.
Well, a lot of them have an alter ego. Lash LaRue. Lash LaRue had an alter ego. In my church group, he wore suits and ties.
Yeah.
I mean, he was nothing like Lash LaRue, and but he loved it. I mean, he had two sisters that and a brother, and so actually the brother is the one I would have thought would have been the wrestler.
That's usually the way it works.
So anyway, it just kind of worked out that way. Can you believe half the show is already over?
I can't.
Go into a commercial break. I got to pay for this stuff, Jody. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang it.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
Okay, we're back. Bringing back my old wrestling memories. Oh, it was so much fun. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show. You know, you said something about, what people think of. There's some talk show hosts that I hope you don't compare me to. I mean, I'm just, I try to put myself on another realm there. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I have Jody Powell with me right now. Commentator, wrestler commentator. What's it like to be a commentator?
It really is just being able to, first of all, it's fantastic. For me, it's the dream job. I've always loved speaking and sharing and telling stories and being the kind of the voice that talks about what's going on. And for professional wrestling, of course, the wrestlers are the main characters. They should be. And what they're doing in the ring is nothing short of a 20-minute ballroom dance. And that's exactly how I would describe it. And I've been in the ring. I've trained with some of these guys, and you really it's so much more than just one person thinking about how they want to get over on the other person. There is so much back and forth and movements and little things that the average fan's not going to see, but they would absolutely notice if you messed up. And so it's such an art of telling the story without the words. Now, you need words also to tell the story, to kind of be that support. And that's what the commentator's role really is to give fans, remind fans of why this match is happening. What has been happening here in the backstory between these two competitors? What are they fighting for? And then to also give them the ideas of how a certain wrestling hold may affect you one way or the other. Why is that guy got me in a hammer lock in my arm back here? Is that really hurt? What does that do? Well, it cuts the blood circulation off. And so that arm's going to start to go numb. So as you go through the match, it's going to be harder to perform these. Those are the stories that you tell as a commentator. And it really just helps. It kind of, so I'm a big food connoisseur. I love foods. So I think of commentators as like the sauce that you put on a really wonderful gourmet meal. It's not the meal, but it adds so much to the meal.
There you go. Yeah, that helps tell the story. That's what. Okay, so let's just say the guys just hate each other while they're out there. You know, right? How are they behind the scenes? I mean, do they hang out? Yeah. What do they do?
It depends. It really depends. There are all kinds, just like in any workplace, there are all kind of personalities that you interact with, and some people click and become fast friends, and some people just are colleagues, and some people really don't like each other. It's no different than what you would find like in an office environment. It's not really decided based on, good guys hanging out with good guys and bad guys hanging out with bad guys. I remember growing up when I was maybe 10 or 11, and wrestling would come to town. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. So it'd come to the Greenville Memorial Auditorium every Monday night. This was before Monday night was the wrestling night. We had wrestling on Monday night before everybody. Uh-huh. And I remember going to these shows and then like stopping at the gas station to get gas, and you would see like the good guy and the bad guy pull in riding in the same car, and it just would tear my heart out. I'm like, wait a minute, these guys are supposed to they're supposed to hate each other. What are they doing? And so it back in the 80s, 70s and before, it was really important for guys not to hang out with each other if they were, heel and face. Now, not so much anymore. Kind of the curtain's been pulled back a little bit, and so there's an understanding. And again, it takes that fan to suspend the reality of things to really be entertained by the story. But behind the scenes, it's no different than what you would find in your office. No different than what you would find, at work with. In a manufacturing environment or an office environment or whatever. Some people click, some people don't. Some people are just kind of colleagues. Others become fast friends.
Well, let's face it, women can be catty. Okay, so
well, men can too. Men can too.
So what are your thoughts about women in wrestling?
Well, with the organization that I'm currently working with, we don't have women wrestling. And it's just a decision of the company. But, I haven't been around a lot of female wrestlers backstage to see how that kind of unfolds. So I would only be speaking more from a fan perspective. But men can be just as catty, if not sometimes more catty than women.
I didn't think those claws out there. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I've met some. And I've interviewed some. Just like I'd hate to be with you out on the ring. Worse than any man. Absolutely. Okay. So
they're
what you do, because I love the Cowboy Church, and I'm just telling you, the Cowboy Church. I mean, they have opened you guys up with open arms. I mean, they really do love you.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to worship, and I talk about this too with wrestling as well, because a lot of people will say, wrestling and the gospel, how do you kind of merge those? How do you justify those two things being kind of in the same conversation? But I just really believe that God meets you where you are. You don't have to walk into a building to find salvation. You don't have to walk into a building to find Jesus. And for those fans who, you can go up to someone and you can say, "Hey, do you want to go to church with us on Sunday?" And you might get well, I don't know if that's really my thing. "Hey, you want to go to a wrestling show Friday night?" "Yeah, let's go." And then you go to the wrestling show, and during the intermission, you hear the word. And that's what our company does as well. We always have a speaker, we always have a preacher or one of our guys giving testimony or whatever it is, and it's a way for fans to hear the message of the gospel without feeling like they're in a church and having to dress up and, Lash LaRue, the suits and ties, right? I mean, it's an environment where they're comfortable and God comes and meets them there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I know we went to Cowboy Church when we were living in Alabama and moved here back in February, and that's where we went. And you would be amazed at the questions people would ask me. They would say, well, what, instead of amen, do they shoot guns? and I'd say, no, they just say amen like you do in your church. And they would say that I've heard they ride horses down the aisle. And I'm like, no way. It's just a ministry, and kids loved it. I mean, and these would be kids whose parents they didn't go to church. And so sometimes the kids can they'll lead the parents.
Oh, 100%. And we see that as well. Our shows are always family friendly, and so much so that, our wrestlers wear t-shirts. We never wrestle without our shirts on or in the wrestling trunks. They have on, the leggings or whatever it is. And it's important for us to be able to say the entire family can be there, and you don't have to worry about what the kids are going to see or what they're going to hear. Now there's always booing and cheering, and we encourage people, boo the bad guys, cheer the good guys, have a great time. But there's no cussing there. We don't tolerate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not something, and it's very, very rare that we even have to regulate it coming from our fans as well. It's all good fun. It's good entertainment. It's something that in every night that we have a show, we start the show off, of course, with a prayer and pray for the protection of our athletes. But I also ask the Holy Spirit to come join us in this place, come dwell among us. And I have no qualms with asking the Holy Spirit to be here, to dwell here, because I'm not worried about what we're going to be putting out there. Professional wrestling is one of those things, like anything. It can be used for such good, or it can be used in a way that just doesn't represent what we're about as Christians. And so it's just a matter of who's promoting it and what kind of show you want to produce.
Mm-hmm. Totally believe that. I'll just have to say this. If there's been a lot of church shootings and stuff like that, and my husband and I have laughed about this. Wouldn't you be a fool to walk into a cowboy church? Because you're going to have every gun. Everybody totes guns, the women and the kids.
That's right.
Those guns.
What was the old show of stupid crimes or stupid criminals that commit crimes at the worst places? That would be perfect for that episode.
Yeah, in normal churches you have a security team. Well, everybody who goes there is a security team.
Yeah, you don't need a security team in a cowboy church, not at all. I mean, the congregation is your security team. They're absolutely it. But I miss going to them. I think they're wonderful folks. So just 2 minutes left 1 minute left in this segment. What do you want to tell everybody before you go? How can we get more information? Well, I'd love for you to tune in on Monday nights, 7 o'clock, Falls Count Anywhere. I host a talk show. We talk about wrestling. I talk with my good buddy, our mad scientist, Mike Buchanan. He's a great guy. We talk wrestling, but we also talk men's mental health and how to be a Christian living in a broken world. It's the favorite part of our show. And it's just one of those things where we just talk and like we're doing here, Donna. It's fantastic, and love for you to tune in. It's on Abundant TV, just like Donna's Edge. And so check it out Monday nights at 7 p.m.
Absolutely. We got a caller today. Jody, hang around because I'd like to get you set up for next month. And let's talk about men's mental health, okay?
Absolutely.
Next one. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. You can find us on television, Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on the Newscasters Studio, newscasters.com, and also on the radio now. We are 92.9 FM right here in Abbeville, South Carolina. And thank you guys so much for letting us be part of your team. And thank you guys so much for watching, and all of our sponsors as well. See you later. Bye-bye.